Alright, chapter 6, Into the Forest. It's 9 pages. I wish Macready would hurry up and take all these people away, said Susan presently. I'm getting horribly cramped. And what a filthy smell of a camphor, said Edmund. I expect these pockets of coats are full of it. Camphor? Camphor, said Susan, to keep the moths away. There's something sticking into my back, said Peter. And it's cold, said Susan. Now that you mention it, it is cold, said Peter. And hang it all, it's wet too. What's the matter with this place? I'm sitting on something wet. It's getting wetter every minute. He struggled to his feet. Let's get out, said Edmund. They've gone. Oh, said Susan suddenly, and everyone asked her what was the matter. I'm sitting against a tree, said Susan, and look, it's getting light over there. By Jove, you're right, said Peter. And look, there and there. It's trees all around. And this wet stuff is snow. Why, I do believe we've got into Lucy's wood after all. And now there was no mistaking it. And all 4 children stood blinking in daylight of a winter day. Behind them were coats hanging on pegs. In front of them were snow-covered trees. Peter turned at once to Lucy. I apologize for not believing you, he said. I'm sorry. Will you shake hands? Of course not, said Lucy. Of course, said Lucy, ended. And now, what do we do next? Do, said Peter. Why, go exploring. The wood, of course. Ugh, said Susan, stamping her feet. It's pretty cold. What about putting on some of these coats? They're not ours, said Peter doubtedly. I am sure nobody would mind, said Susan. It isn't as if we wanted to take them out of the house. We shan't take them even out of the wardrobe. I never thought of that, Sue, said Peter. Of course, now that you put it that way, I see no one could say you had bagged a coat as long as you leave it in the wardrobe where you found it. And I suppose this whole country is in the wardrobe. They immediately carried out Susan's very sensible plan. The coats were rather too big for them, so they came down to their heels and looked more like royal robes than coats when they had put them on. But they all felt a good deal warmer, and each thought the others looked better in the new get-ups and more suitable to the landscape. We can pretend we are Arctic explorers, said Lucy. This is going to be exciting enough without pretending, said Peter, as he began leading the way forward into the forest. There were heavy, darkish clouds overhead, and it looked as if it might be more snow before night. I say, began Edmund presently, aren't we to be bearing a bit more to the left, that is, if we are aiming for the lamppost? He had forgotten for a moment that he must pretend to have never been in the wood before. The moment the words were out of his mouth, he realized that he had given himself away. Everyone stopped. Everyone stared at him. Peter whistled. So you really were here, he said. That time Lou said she met you in here, and you made out that she was telling lies. There was a dead silence. Oh, of all the poisonous little beasts, said Peter, and shrugged his shoulders and said no more. There seemed indeed no more to say, and presently the 4 resumed their journey, but Edmund was staying to himself. I'll pay you all for this, you pack of stuck-up, self-satisfied prigs. Where are we going anyway? Said Susan, chiefly for the sake of changing the subject. I think Lou ought to be the leader, said Peter. Goodness knows she deserves it. Where will you take us, Lou? What about going to see Mr. Thomas? Said Lucy.